All right, let's talk USC Trojans football here for a little bit. This is a program heading in the right direction. I think that's undeniable. If you forget that bowl game debacle, we won't even bring it up. I won't even bring it up again. We won't ever talk about it again. It's clear that after last season, the Trojans are doing a lot of things well. Lincoln Riley is the right guy for the job. He's proven himself to be a smart offensive mind even in the Pac-12 yet again. He's recruiting great, bringing in great transfers. You can just look at last offseason. A lot of things with the USC heading in the right direction, and there is big news for the Trojans that shows that as they head into 2023, they could be continuing to take the next big step as they work their way to the back to the top of the college football world. But before I get into that, Trojans fans, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below, like I always ask. Let me know what game you are looking forward to next season more than any other. Is it a rematch against Utah? Is it, rivalry UCLA? Is it somebody else? Let me know what game you're looking forward to more than any other game into 2023. All right, so the thing with the Trojans, right, is as they head into the 2023 season, they have a lot of strong pieces in place. But the question is, how good are they compared to the elite of college football? Because that's who the Trojans are comparing themselves to. But there's some interesting news out, according to Fan Nation, as part of SportsIllustrated.com, is that Pro Football Focus released a list of the top returning players in college football at each position. And two USC Trojans came in at number one. So think about that for a second. There's obviously 120 programs in all college football, Division 1A college football. I think FBS now is what they call it technically. But there's 120 programs, and obviously there's a lot of different positions. The fact that Southern Cal has two of the top players at two different positions is a huge boon. It shows how good this team is. And obviously the two guys of that are Caleb Williams, who I think everyone will kind of recognize. He's considered to be best quarterback in the country, presumptive number one overall pick next NFL draft. But here's the big one. Safety Calen Bullock is the other guy that reached the top of the Pro Football Focus list. All right, we don't have to go into Caleb Williams here a little bit. I think Bullock has been absolutely spectacular. He was a PFF first-team All-American, again, according to Fan Nation, in 2022, thanks to his dominance in coverage. The sophomore's 5 interceptions were tied for 5th among all safeties in the country. He was also the 3rd most valuable safety in the country, according to PFF's wins above average metrics. That's just advanced analytics. Basically just saying that this guy is really, really good at football. Here's why I think this is important. When you look to be successful, big-time successful in college football world, there's two things you need. You need to have the right coach. They have that. Lincoln Riley, smart offensive mind, can do a lot of great things. We saw that at Oklahoma. We're seeing that at USC. You need to be really darn good at quarterback, right? And they're obviously that with Calen Williams. He's spectacular. He's the next great one. He's a Trevor Lawrence-esque kind of player. I think he's that good. A lot of NFL teams may potentially already be thinking about tanking to get Williams. He's spectacular. But the other thing you need is an elite level playmaker on defense. And that's what Bullock is, right? A guy who can kind of just make a couple key plays and key moments over the course of the game. Sometimes that's a pass rusher. Sometimes a guy that, can be a disruptive force on defensive line. Sometimes that's a linebacker who can blow up a short yardage play or get a quarterback down in space in a key third down. Bullock's that same kind of guy. He's an elite level coverage safety who can force turnovers. And that's kind of that extra bonus you need to compete with the best teams. Because if you look at the bowl games last year, I'm talking like the playoff bowl games, there were shootouts, right? High scoring affairs back and forth. Because when you have a good coach and good quarterback, it doesn't matter how talented your defense is, you're going to score a lot of points. We saw what Ohio State, C.J. Stroud, good coach and quarterback, did to Georgia's elite defense. We obviously all saw Michigan and TCU go out and score a bunch of points. Other big games bowl, I think Notre Dame, Florida State was an example. Southern Cal, of course, in their defeat, also, there we go, I brought it up again. In their defeat, obviously scored a lot of points. At a certain point, if you're good at quarterback and good at coach, you're going to score a lot of points. But how you win games in big-time college football is having that one extra playmaker who can get you that one stop, that one turnover. Something just flip the dynamic in your favor. Momentum's going the other way. Someone comes up with a big hit, sack, fumble, interception, third down stop, fourth down stop. They just flip the momentum right back on your side. And that's what Bullock is. And I think that's such a strong indication of how USC is going to be so good next season. I think last season, Trojans fans, especially how the fact they didn't beat Utah when it really mattered, and obviously the way the bowl game went, I brought it up a third time, good Lord. The way the bowl game went, obviously I'm sure there's a bad taste in a lot of y'all's mouth right now. But when I look at the fact, but according to PFF, who I trust more than, they're a really great organization, do a great job evaluating talent. The fact that they're able to identify that Bullock is as good as he is, I think is a sign that the Trojans are going to just take that next step next season. And looking forward, I don't see a reason why the Trojans can't become a perennial playoff team, joining the likes of the Ohio States, the Alabamas, and the Georgias. Because again, if you're good at quarterback, which I think they will be beyond Caleb Williams, but they'll be good at quarterback next year. They're good at coach. And then just having an elite level defensive playmaker, a guy who, like I said, can just flip things in a second, flip things on a switch, turn things around in your favor, is the exact final piece in the puzzle the Trojans need to get back to winning conference championships and heading back to the playoffs and competing for national championships. Again, this is a great sign for the Trojans going forward.